What are intellectual property rights?
Intellectual property rights can be defined as the rights given to people over the creations of their minds. They usually give the creator an exclusive right over the use of his/her creations for a certain period of time.
What are types of intellectual property rights under TRIPS agreements?
Intellectual property rights are divided into two main categories: copyright and rights related to copyright. 2. Industrial property includes trademarks, geographical indications, industrial designs, patents, integrated circuit layout designs, and protection of undisclosed information.
What is the TRIPS agreement?
The TRIPS agreement stipulates a set of minimum standards for the protection of intellectual property rights that each member must follow in accordance with their individual national laws. All members have been obligated to uphold the national treatment responsibilities, equal treatment for domestic and foreign individuals and businesses, and most favored nation treatment, non-discrimination between foreign individuals and businesses.
Does the TRIPS agreement apply to all WTO members?
Yes, it applies to all WTO members.
The concept of the intellectual property system is new to me. Are you able to explain it to me?
The four components of the intellectual property system are creation of intellectual property protection, intellectual property utilization, and intellectual property enforcement.
What happens when copyrightable works expire?
When the copyright works expire, they will enter the public area, and everyone can use them. When your copyrightable work expires, it will go into the public domain, which means anyone can use it. The copyright owner has exclusive rights.
What happens if I use his or her literary work or artistic work without his or her permission?
This is an illegal act, and in the protection of property rights, violations are divided into civil violations and criminal violations. For example, if I use his works for dissemination without the permission of the owner, I will be fined, but if I use them for profit, I will face fixed-term imprisonment or criminal detention and be fined. This is an illegal conduct. And there are two types of violations that happen when property rights are violated: civil violations and criminal violations. For instance, if I distribute his works without the owner's consent, I'll be penalized. If I use them for profit, I'll be sentenced to a fixed-term jail sentence or to a period of detention in addition to a fine.
With whom can I enter into a licensing agreement?
If you want to sign a copyright licensing contract, you need to sign with the copyright owner only.
Can you explain the copyright recordation process in Thailand?
The copyright registration process in Thailand includes the submission of application forms and relevant materials, receipt and verification of materials by the Intellectual Property Office, acceptance and review of applications, and issuance of copyright registration certificates. It usually takes 3 months to complete the whole process.
Is a patent valid in every country?
The patent is not valid in every country because a patent is a territorial right. For example, my invention was granted in China. It is only protected in China. Therefore, if I want to protect my invention in other countries, I need to file patent applications in those countries.
What destroys the novelty of invention?
It is practicality that destroys the novelty of the invention. Because practicality is the criterion for judging, most of the fancy inventions will be eliminated. However, we cannot determine whether these eliminated inventions will play a significant role in the future. If science and technology progress, whether these inventions will become more useful.
What is a first-to-file rule?
The application system is based on the basic principles of patents and the exclusivity of patent rights. In the same country or region, the same technology can only be granted one patent and one patent right. For example, I first applied for a patent on the game, and soon someone came to apply for the same patent as me, so we could not judge whether he was plagiarized. So we could not pass. Patent applications are subject to the first-to-file rule, which gives the first person to file a patent the ability to assert ownership of the patent's intellectual property.
If I want to sign a licensing contract to contribute his or her invention, with whom can I sign a contract?
I should sign a contract with someone who needs to use this invention. For example, if I want to use this invention elsewhere, I need to sign a contract with the owner of the invention to allow it to be used.
If someone uses his or her invention patent without his or her permission, who has the right to enforce it?
Where a dispute arises from the exploitation of a patent without the permission of the patentee, that is, the infringement of its patent right, the parties concerned shall settle the dispute through consultation. If the parties are unwilling to consult or the consultation fails, the patentee or interested party may bring a suit in the People's Court, or request the Department for the Administration of Patent Work to handle the matter. For example, I have a patent, and I have applied for patent protection. If someone uses it without my permission, his behavior is illegal, and I can apply to the relevant department for prosecution.